Hello. Thank you for coming. We've got a few more coming in. Wonderful. Oh, here we are. Admit. Are you on mute? I think everyone's on mute. Here we are. Look at that. Wonderful. Welcome, everyone, to Mindset Reset. I'll just wait to see if anybody else comes in, but I think this could be it. We could be there. Let's play some music while everything's going on. I think this might be it. Right. It looks like we're off. Welcome everyone to Mindset Reset. And this is a weekly show where we will unpick our emotions and find ways to restore balance and calm into our world. Let me just open up the chat because you will get the chance to say something or put a comment in. So I use pop culture as a guide to change my mindset. My name is Zac. I'm born of the 70s. I'm a child of the 80s, really. And I often go off on tangents, which can be fun. Hello, everyone. So this show that uses highlights from workshops and presentations that I've developed, where my aim is to offer an alternative to medication for depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed about 15 years ago with mild bipolar, and all the years before that, because I am getting on a bit, I thought everyone felt the same way that I did. But it was through talking and sharing my thoughts and experiences that I discovered that I wasn't the same as lots of other people. And that realization sent me on a bit of a downward spiral. But I'm still here. Here I am. And along the way, I sort of realized a few things. One of them being that I connected myself to the world around me from a child all the way through teens and everything. Through movies and music. That sort of offered me a connection to kind of what is real, and I suppose it opened my imagination. You see, I see real humans in movies and the shows of the 80s, and I use 80s movies specifically because then generally people didn't have superpowers and could walk through buildings. So I've devised workshops for individuals and for corporate, for workers, to use movies as a jumping off point to recognizing our emotions and what makes us tick. We are strong and unique and emotional. And I don't think it's wrong to feel sad at times, just the same it's not wrong to feel happy. But I do think, and that in my experience, that we are too quickly offered medication. So instead, I turned to meditation and mindful breathing and opening my imagination. And I'm hoping with you being here that you would like to open your imagination too. So let's get this show going. Let's open Pandora's box. And I want you to see how good you are. The aim of this show over the weeks is to give you confidence, give you belief, power, imagination, and ultimately to acknowledge that we are all in control of our actions to our thoughts. We can't control other people or events. We can't control the thoughts that come up in our head. because they happen all the time, good or bad, whether we like it or not. But we can control how we react and what we do with them. Now, coming up in the show, I have homework for you, which isn't too bad. It's not too taxing. And I'm also going to talk about champions, not like Queen or, I don't know, the Olympics or the cheese rolling contest down the hill. No, it's about you and your mindset. But first, we're going to do a question of the week. This will be a regular feature. So without looking up or cheating or Googling or whatever, and some of you might know this, the music that I just played is by the Billy Taylor Trio. It was used for quite a famous television program. It probably still is, but I don't think it's on very much anymore. Certainly in the 80s and the 90s, it was a popular program on the BBC late at night. Can you tell me what that program was? If you have an answer, and if it comes to you during this next 20 minutes or so, pop it in the comments and I will reveal the answer and a winner, hopefully, at the end of the show. The winner will get an imaginary prize of their choosing. That is amazing. I'm sure you'll all agree. Now, when we struggle with our emotions, we tend to see us as the problem, and then we start to react negatively to situations. We start to tell ourselves things like, I'm no good, I can't do this, people don't like me, I'm all alone, it would be better if I didn't exist, I can't. And I know that very well because I've had those messages going through my mind for years and years and years, phrases that I've said to myself repeatedly. The trouble is with it is that it got me nowhere. I received exactly nothing from thinking like that. And I got to a stage where I was pretty sick and tired of it, really. I did go on to medication and I didn't like it at all. I hated who I became. I hated that I was bloated and puffy and I was pumped full of drugs. I felt like a zombie. While it took away the bad stuff, it also took away the good stuff. I was just a nothing sitting in the middle. I remember watching a film and I was laughing inside, but nothing was able to come out. So a little voice inside me while I was there sort of told me, no more of this. And I started to climb back into the light. And I took the decision to stop the medication without consulting a doctor. And I know that's not the advice we're given, but I felt that I really wanted to get control of who I was again. What we say to ourselves creates our reality. And once I realized that my language was part of the problem, I started to take action to change it. And you see, because it's small changes that you make that all come together to create the big change that you want in your life. It's a bit like the Power Rangers all coming together to form one big robot. So instead of saying, I'm not good enough, I started to say, well, I could be better. Instead of saying that I was all alone, I started to remind myself of all the lovely friends and family that I've got. Instead of saying I can't do something, I started to say, well, I can learn to do it and I can try. I can. So now I've not been on the drugs for a few years. I've decided to share my experience, and my aim in life now, having survived this far and rode the ocean of emotion, is to empower anyone who has emotional challenges in their world to try and turn it around so that they can see that they are good. Being diagnosed with mental health isn't a problem. Every human being is emotional. Everyone gets sad, angry, tired, delirious, happy. Every day we can have all those emotions. We all have mental health as much as we have physical health, but it does carry a stigma. And That is what I want to change. I've noticed it being blamed for so many wrong things in the world. And if you watch the news and some horrible crime happens or something, they do pretty much always say that the criminal had mental health problems. And while that might be so, it does create a problem when anyone is diagnosed with having mental health problems, because then we are seen as a problem to society. And our family and friends, they start to get a bit scared or a bit wary, start to be in fear or think that we might be dangerous. And we might be plotting something. And most of the time, we just want to be accepted. So that's what I'd like to change. Because when I was medicated, I was deeply unhappy and it made me feel worse about myself, not better. And I wanted to know what's all that about? Now, if that resonates with you, if you feel you know somebody or it's happened to you or you know other people, then stick a 1 in the comments section. You don't need to describe anything, but it'll be interesting to know if that's something that, that others have felt too. Now, pop culture plays a major role in our emotional well-being. And that's what I'm about as a speaker and a coach. We can be heroes just for one day. Yeah, there's singing involved in this. I should have warned you beforehand. And do you get the message that you could be a hero? Whether you believe in the Jedi or Rambo or the power of Grayskull. I believe the message that we've been given, that has been given to us by artists over the centuries, has been simple, that we all have a power. We are an energy, we have an energy, and we are connected to the world, to the universe, and to each other. And I wonder if you've ever felt when you walk into a room, you feel a giddiness of excitement, or perhaps you feel a sort of heavy energy, and when you walk in and you're not sure why, you're picking up the energy of everybody else. And this idea goes back millennia, and art has played a huge role in offering us ideas about our emotions, our limitations, our energies, and the power of our imaginations. Art taps into our emotions. That is its purpose. We can be heroes. So we could all sing, but you're all on mute. So why not do the silent Zoom clap as we head into the next section of the show, where I will be discussing with you champions. I don't know how you do a silent Zoom clap, but there's a few ones on there. Thank you for making it feel like I'm not talking to myself. Now, this show is a mixture, will be a mixture of interviews and topics for discussion. In the coming weeks, we will have open forums, we will have lively debates, hopefully, and I'll be having guests, speakers, and interviews. But this week, I am alone. So I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to deliver a monologue from Hamlet. No, I won't do that. I'll present to you an idea about you being a champion. Let's begin. Now, these are bongos that I made in the hope that I would be able to sing "We Are the Champions," but I don't think they're coming out on the microphone. Instead, I will use the kazoo. Now, what is a champion? Well, I consulted Auntie Google on that one. Champion is a noun. Number 1, a person who has surpassed all rivals in a sporting contest or other competition. Number 2, a person who vigorously supports or defends a person or cause. It's also a verb, vigorously support or defend the cause of. And it's also an adjective. Thank you, lad, the farmer said. That's champion, which sounds really bad from me. Do you think that you are a champion of your life. Now, I will be willing to bet that there can't be many of you who consider yourself to be a person who has surpassed all rivals. I mean, I did once at school in the 1500-meter race, but I've never managed to do it since, and I won't enter any 1500-meter races anymore. I did once try a drinking game with a few friends, but I'm not going to carry on with that. I'm also going to guess that you tend not to say champion when you've been presented with something that is above average. Therefore, we fall by method of elimination to a person who vigorously supports a personal cause, and that's you. You support others, I guess, like maybe you support your friends, your family, you support perhaps a sports team, a football team, a political party. You could have favorite actors, celebrities. You support favorite people on TV, presenters. Maybe like you could support Rocky when you're watching Rocky, or the Karate Kid when you're watching that, because they're down on their luck, people who deserve a chance in life. Everyone deserves a chance in life, right? You support that. I know you support others, but this is about you. Let's break this down further, if we may. If we change champion to another word, if we thesaurus it, some of these words appear. I'll read them out to you. First, world class, premier, principal, chief, boss, illustrious. And these are just a few, but any of these words can be used to describe how you can feel about you. Changing mindset is about reframing your language. How you think about you is very important to how your mind will react. If you see yourself as a failure, then chances are you will fail. Mindset is so important to getting the results that you want from life, because you are the most important person in your world. You are the chief, the boss, the principal character of your story. So I'd like you all to say a phrase to yourself, and I can't see you, so I'm just going to pretend that you're going to do it. Say this to yourself now: I am the hero of my world. It's quite easy. I am the hero of my world. I hope you're saying it. I am the hero of my world. Because you are. You really, truthfully, literally are. Our language affects our outcomes and our realities. You are a champion. I am a champion. I am a boss and a chief and a principal, and I am world class at being me. No one can be me better. But of course, sometimes we don't want to be us. We want to be someone different. And this is where movies and the magic of celluloid can come in. But more of that in a moment. First of all, here's a list of things that you could be champion at without actually being you. Play a video game and smashing it. Acting as someone else on the stage. Pretending you're Rocky when you climb some steps. Singing "We Are the Champions." Also singing "New York, New York" at a karaoke party. It's got to be done. Acting like a French mushroom. No, that's champignon. Sorry, scrap that one. So what if you were actually a champion? I mean, I'm here for mental health reasons, and I'm hoping to help people with mental health, because that's a lot of us. A lot of us are full on mental health, and we could be seen as wild ones with tendencies towards the surreal, and we sometimes leave odd looks of confusion from others in our wake. But you're here. That makes you a champion. Champion is about supporting you. You are the cause and the effect of your world. You are the chaos and the disorder, the love and the calm. There is only one person who is the core of your world. Welcome to you. You know all those times you thought you couldn't do something? That's you. Hey, you know all those times you thought, well, hell, I'm going to do it anyway? That's you. Remember all those times someone else told you not to do anything? That's not you. But you remember it because life seems to be a game of remembering the bad stuff. And I got sick of always remembering the bad stuff. The trouble is, it is all around us. The news is all bad, especially at the moment. They rarely tell you anything positive. Soaps, a drama about moaning and arguing. So our real life can be painted as something painful, and it really isn't. We kind of make it like that. So try changing it up a bit. Try making it positive, because the light is within you. If you like watching soaps, by no means stop, but take it for what it is. It's a story with actors who are paid to be miserable. Your world is real, theirs is not. Their real world is when they go home to their family and friends and laugh with a drink or two. Being a champion has got nothing to do with sports or winning or getting a medal. It is about bossing your life. You can be a champion while things are wrong, because you have the power to change your reactions. Now, a lot of people with mental health problems, they have an ability to see from an extreme emotional point of view. They can remove logic from a situation and kind of come from somewhere quite powerful. And that's the emotion and the imagination. And yes, it hurts. When things go crap, it hurts, and we want to cry or yell or scream or all of those, or hurt ourselves and take the pain away from our hearts. But what if we took a step back and breathed? The problem is still there if we step back for 5 minutes, but we've given ourselves space to consider more possibilities. The best solutions come from space, not outer space, from space around us. It can diffuse arguments, or it can make them easier to resolve. It reduces the emotion of a situation. It allows any of us time to see from all angles, and it moves us out of the tornado that the situation has created. And this sounds dramatic, I know, but that's how we think. We are drama. It's drama and death and tragedy and war. The universe is threatened when a problem arises, and in our world, it's up to us to save it. We can't do that with anger. We can do that with imagination. So here's a bit of homework for you. I want you to think of anything that you did that made you feel like a champion. Something that you've done in the past, or something that you excel at or think that you're really good at. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't have to be an achievement. It could be something as simple as perfecting scrambled eggs. And then I want you to write a list of all the things that you're good at and that you've bossed. And then you use this list as your reminder when you're feeling a little bit low, your vibration is falling down. You have a little reminder of all the things that you were good at. And this actually does work. I'm quite serious. I know I might be talking and being a bit strange, but I'm actually talking straight sense in my head, how I am anyway. So keep a written record of things that you are good at. You could go and make a card to put in your purse or your wallet. You could make a diary. You could write a hit list. You could create your own top 40 charts. Do what you need to do to make you feel good. Now, I'm going to talk about movies, because movies give us an answer to problems and situations. Why, I hear you ask? Well, let me sit here and be serious, and don't call me Shirley. Movies are our modern myths and stories. Here's what Auntie Google said myths were. Traditional story, especially one concerning the early history of a people or explaining a natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings or events. That's what a myth is. So Ghostbusters is a myth. Back to the Future is a myth. Police Academy 2, their first assignment, is a myth, because they are all about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Marty, Venkman, and Mahoney are our modern day Perseus and Jason. The one with the Argonauts, not the one with a hockey mask. These stories are about regular people faced with a task and rise to the challenge. Luke Skywalker didn't have any magic powers when he started, and the last starfighter was just a kid playing an arcade machine who is picked up to save the galaxy. So we're too far away from the Greek and Roman mythology, but we're still into Ghostbusters and we still like the song. And the 80s did this so well because with the launch of VHS and Betamax, that's videos, it opened the door for more original stories because they had shelves to fill. So I have a movie for you this week to watch. If you can find it, it is called Cool Runnings. If you've seen it, it's a cracker. If you haven't, it's still a cracker. What's it about, I hear you ask? Well, it's about 1 hour and 38 minutes. I IMDb'd it. This is what they said. When a Jamaican sprinter is disqualified from the Olympic Games, he enlists the help of a dishonored coach to start the first Jamaican bobsled team. Now, the coach is John Candy, so we're in for something funny. It's a Disney feel-good movie, and it is about being a champion in your heart and mind. It's not about the result or about how you look. It's about how you feel and what you get and how you change your world. In this movie, there are examples of teamwork, redemption, gratitude, persistence, life vision, leadership, and responsibility. It's about life, about you taking control of what you want from it. We get so hung up on trying to fit in that we stress over the fact that we all fit out. But what are we trying to fit into anyway? Cool Runnings teaches us about the rise from failure and accepting who you are. Just enjoy the world around you. Now, this is on Disney Plus, most likely. It's you might find it in a charity shop. DVDs, they probably won't get it on VHS anymore. Give it a go for this week. Now, we're nearly at the end. I'm sure you're glad to know. So let's resolve question of the week. For what television program was the music that I played at the beginning of the show? Has anyone given an answer? No. No. Right. Well, I'll tell you then. It was for a BBC program that's probably still on. In my day, it was called Film 84, Film 85, 86, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if we have a Film 2021 anymore, but it was presented by Barry Norman in those days. And I particularly remember an episode where he interviewed Steven Spielberg on the eve of the release of Gremlins, and Spielberg was so upset that Gremlins had been given a 15 certificate that he told everybody to parents to take their kids to go and see it and to the rules. And it was shortly after, it caused a bit of controversy. Shortly after that, the British Board of Film Classification introduced a 12 certificate, funnily enough. Now, the track that I used from the film thing is actually called I Wish That I Knew How It Feels to Be Free, which is quite apt for a mental health show. I wish I knew how it feels to be free. Perhaps one day we will know that. Now, next week, I will be discussing living with an audience in your head. So maybe that won't be, we won't be working out freedom then. Now, this is the MI experience. This is called Mindset Reset. I have workshops and presentations available to help us come to terms with who we are. I've got a workshop on the Blues Brothers, all about freedom and cause. I've got a workshop about Ghostbusters, which details risk, resilience, and faith. So if anyone's interested in any of that, please drop me a message or anything like that. I'm on Facebook. I'm obviously here, there, and everywhere. I have also created a Facebook group, and all you lovely people who have come here this evening, I will send an invite to. And this is a private group where we can hopefully open up a discussion and start to create some sort of connection with each other. So being a champion isn't about being rewarded with a winner's medal. It is about your journey and your change. If you transcend from a self-harming person oh, look, I'm running out of time, to someone who stands tall to help others. You are a champion. If you wake up in the morning dreading your job day ahead, but you get your butt in the shower, you are a champion. If you say, screw it, I'm going to be the difference in my life, you are a champion. Your mental health is not going to go away. We are emotional people. That is who we are. I chose to accept my depression because I was sick of feeling crap, and pop culture I use as a guide to get me through certain things. Depression does have a habit of sneaking up and biting at you, but I breathe. I give myself some kindness and some space, and I'll sit down and watch a old 80s movie. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. That is the end of the show. That half an hour has gone quickly. I hope that by being here, you've gone some way to opening your mind to a different way to approach things. I will be back here next week at 6:30, and we'll be looking at The Truman Show, which is another great film. I hope you enjoy Cool Runnings. If you get to see it, tune in next week. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm signing off now. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.